Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Impossible. I am your co host, Austin, and I'm still out here in Utah. And today I wanted to. We are continuing on the journey of the impossible mind. And for today, I wanted to discuss another why in terms of building a team of impossible minds, of impossible mindsets, and impossible individuals. So, I want to, specify in saying that for those who are close around you, so kind of the team that you're wanting to build. That's what I want to focus on. We have further derivations down the road, but for today, we'll discuss for those close around you. So kind of your go-to individuals, those that you can feed off of and obtain a lot of positivity from, but also ones that you're able to help by your aura, by your ability to positively impact the environment around you. So with your team, you want to be very selective you have on this impossible team, because the individual that you are becoming on this journey of adaptation and ultimately the impossible mindset have to be on a similar path, or further down the path, or maybe starting the path and you've gone to the sense of wanting to help them once they've made their commitments as well. But I want to specify in that you need to find somebody that is one of those three categories. And I personally am an individual who has had a lot of friends come and go, and there are many acquaintances that I certainly love to call friend, but there are only select few that I am proud to call my closest of friends, who carry on that impossible mindset in some fashion on their journey. And so that specifically is who we're talking about today. It's taken me quite some time to find myself in the situation to where I have the ability to find friends as such, to understand them, to build upon that friendship, to be able not only to see where they're at on that path, but to understand where they're on that path and understand why they're on that path. And it's again, for me personally, it's been an incredible find that I have. One of those being our fearless leader, Matthew Hill. He saved me. He's not going to be he's a very humble individual, so he'll be a bit surprised to a point that I'll be saying this on our platform. I've said it before, but not into kind of this detail, I believe. I may have at some point. Apologies if I have. My months of chemo can do something to one's brain. But back in 2020, we had a mutual friend of ours had a wedding, and I was in the I was one of the groomsmen. I was in the groom's party. That's how you say it. and Matt was attending. And again, this was for a mutual friend. And we got to the reception, and I had went up to the layout of the food, and Matt was sitting kind of close to the table, and I don't remember who precisely I was talking to. I don't know if it was him or if it was somebody else in line that I was explaining to them that I was looking into and wanting to try the carnivore diet. And Matt I'm fairly certain he overheard that, and somehow, and that is how everything was. I don't want to say rekindled, but that's how everything pretty much started for us. Back, we knew of each other in university. We had spent a little bit of time together, but those were the times that we had spent together were either in the format of like time with our fraternity. So we were both we're both brothers of Phi Mu Alpha Symphonia, a men's music fraternity, and so our time would have just spent by that. We didn't spend much time at all outside of the realms of the events for the fraternity itself. So, and then once I left university, I believe a year or two before him, and then after that we just simply had no contact, and nothing of foul play, just simply that's just not how we didn't have that kind of friendship at the time. And at the wedding, I talked about the carnivore diet, and that set off what has become a friendship that I know will never wane. It will never, to any degree, it is invaluable. What I've found is a brother, a compatriot, a friend for life. And I mean that with to its full weight, to the nth degree. He came in clutch. Friendship, it took off fairly slowly. We got into contact. He was looking to start up the Impossible Health coaching business, and I was to be and was his first client, and his first guinea pig, you could say. But I didn't feel like that was this wasn't a laboratory sense of the word partnership and trying to be coached, and him coaching me to put myself in a better position, both physically and mentally. But it took off, and we get into 2021. Things were getting a bit different for me personally, and nothing that would have hindered our friendship, but things could have turned out extremely different from how things are now. Going into the end of 2021, I had taken a trip to England, and then we finished the trip off in Scotland. But we had visited the University of Salford in Manchester, England, and I was looking to visit there. We were there to visit for the master's program, and I had made the conscious decision that I wanted to continue to pursue music, and so that would have sent me off to on a completely different path. And in the preface of that trip, with how things were at that moment, I had gone and I had to get my COVID vaccine to travel internationally. So I went and got the Moderna. And this was October of 2021, or the end of September. I got my first shot, or the first round, and then the second round in the beginning of October. And that is where we found ultimately what was my cancer. The right lymph nodes had swollen up and were just hard as rocks. But we were so fired up to get to I guess we started off in Paris and then went to Manchester and then Scotland up to Edinburgh, and so hadn't thought anything of it. Read that it was adverse reaction. Could have been a possible adverse reaction to the vaccine itself, and didn't think of anything of it. And January of 2022 comes around, and I'm back actually out here in Utah working, and come to find out that I was going through tests and keeping Matt up to date. And yeah, February 11th, 2022, I had to call him and say, hey, I am diagnosed with cancer. And that's where our friendship had turned into the most serious, most committed form of friendship that I'd ever engaged in. It quickly evolved into that with Matt, and strange how a single conversation about a random diet at a mutual friend's wedding can ultimately lead to a lifelong friend, based upon the two of us on our own individual journeys, but ultimately two journeys that were committed to becoming better individuals, chasing after something that we wanted. Mine was to be physically and mentally more ready with life. I was years into my marijuana abuse. I was working full time at AutoZone. It was a mess, and I was a mess. and he was looking to start up a health coaching business. And so two individuals that had committed paths, committed journeys that were in the positive direction came together. And so what I want to derive from that is, I kind of prefaced it earlier, but when you go to find the individuals, again, you need to be that more selective. And this is something that doesn't just happen overnight. It could. You could immediately find a spark with a really, really great friend, and it just takes off immediately, and that's fantastic. That's marvelous. To a point, that's how Matt and I had how our friendship had taken off. But it's certainly going to take a lot of time to really dig deep and to find out who each of you are. But what helps you with that in finding that selective process? Because to a point, and again, this is a derivation of the work that you're putting in, but you as an individual making the decision, making the commitments to leading a more positive and beneficial life, having those goals, having a forward-looking perspective, you will attract other individuals who are going through the same thing, who have made those commitments. And you can attract them, but you still have to be selective in in who those individuals are. And I don't mean that in taking a checklist and literally going through and marking to see, oh, does this person have this attribute or this attribute? No, that's that's a bit medial, but I would say you should still be somewhat committed to making sure that they're going to be a positive, beneficial force beside you on the path to what you are trying to achieve. But it won't be that difficult the further you're into the, you know, whatever overarching commitment that you've made, whether you're 4 months into something that's going to take years, or you're a few years into something that's going to take, you know, or even a, you know, a lifetime. You'll find yourself able to really see the different individuals that you come into contact with, and to say, you know, I'm looking for, you know, somebody with maybe something, you know, some particular expertise, or some, you know, some type of characteristics, you know, like for someone like me, I know I'm pretty much an introvert, and so, you know, I certainly like to find individuals that I can call, you know, friends, who are willing to go out and really, you know, kind of be engaging with those in the public. And that is Matt. Matt is a very engaging person with anybody and everybody. He's not shy, and that is, you know, very much him. And I am so thankful to have such a close friend, to have those kinds of attributes, because for myself, I'm able to engage with others out, you know, any Joe Schmo, but for him, it's a completely different ballgame, and it's incredible to watch him do his thing, and really bring people into the conversation, however long or whatever type of conversation that is. And it's remarkable to see. It really is. And I look up to him on that particular characteristic and certain profile. So that's always great as well. You know, as you get into more of as you get into more of a sense of self-awareness, you'll be able to tell, you know, hey, this individual, they're on a great path, you know, towards success, and they are engaging with individuals, or, you know, this person's a bit more calculating. So, you know, I'm just somebody who is just, you know, ideas, and I need somebody who is just organized, who can take those 100 ideas and go, okay, I listed all these, let's break it down to these 10, and then move on. And so, you know, as you get to know yourself better, you will be able to find individuals who you can call close friends, keep close to you, have them beside you, and ultimately be a part of that impossible team who has that impossible mindset. You're going to get a lot better at that. So that's another great thing about this is on the journey of finding more about you means that you can find more about others and find the best in others, and you feed into them. You feed into their, you know, you positively feed into their needs to you know, become a more well-rounded, incredible individual and human being, and then vice versa comes right back to you. So it's always phenomenal to feel that sense of, when you're in a room with them, especially, of just how you can bounce back and forth with either ideas, ultimately with a purpose, and it really is something beautiful. It is. And so I had a nice little quote here from me. Be impossible, and you will procure a team of beautiful people that are ready to do the impossible right beside you. I wrote that as I was preparing for this episode, because I really do mean in the sense of you will procure a team of beautiful people that are ready to do the impossible right beside you. And I really do mean that term beautiful, because there's something extraordinarily beautiful and ultimately priceless about finding a few close friends, whether that's 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, keep the number small, but about having a few very close friends that it gives you a sense of confidence that you can't find anywhere else. It gives you a sense of, it helps build upon the sense of purpose that you find in life when you can share those strides towards a purpose with others. Especially on this, for me, on this marathon journey, it isn't just for me. I know training for the marathon day, there's going to be a lot going on up here, and that's fine. But I also know that I'm doing it with friends, with Team Impossible. I'm doing it with them, I'm doing it for them. They're doing it for them, and they're doing it for me, and we're all doing it for ultimately for children going through horrible and traumatic experiences, whether that be childhood cancer or other childhood illnesses or diseases. It's all for them. It's all for the service to give, which I don't want to get into too much, because that's service for others and community is going to be the next step here. But I know that the marathon is not just for me. It's for my close friends. It's for JD. It's for Matt. It's for Paul. It's for Team Impossible. It's for them as much as it is for me. And I take a lot of pride in that. I take a lot of honestly a little bit of comfort knowing of the commitments that they have made as well, that can seem very much impossible, but we're still doing it because one part of it is we're doing it for each other, with each other, side by side. Maybe not during the entire race. JD will be far ahead of me, but that's fine. Knowing that he's still on, the same course, absolutely killing it, that's what will help me during that race. Having the presence in mind that we're all, for the impossible way, we're all suffering together. That's another beautiful part of this. We're all suffering in our own ways, but we're suffering through the same action, of course. And that is absolutely a phenomenal thing to get to witness. And I am so happy, so thrilled, so ecstatic to get to that day. I know it's still, we're just over 2 months out, but I'm thrilled for the days between then and now, but I'm also thrilled for that day as well. For a first marathon, it's a little Freudian slip, but I must say it is based upon my experience of talking to others about going and running a marathon for the first time, a full marathon. It absolutely, it either flabbergasts them or they just can't see as to why I would want to do it. Not in a negative sense, but it's something that does not cross their mind as something that needs to be done, or is even, needs to be done, is necessary, is even remotely a good use of their time. And so I do slip up in saying should, that I should be frightened or I should be nervous in a mountainous sense. And I admit to you that I am in the position that is in complete opposite of that. What I will be conquering and what they will be conquering is a step beyond what of ourselves was prior to that. The Austin that is existing now will no longer be after that day. And that is what I find to be one of the things that I find to be of an extreme opportunity to grow. And I am so excited to see what Austin comes to the surface after that race. And I'm also excited to see what version of JD we get to see after, what version of Matt, what version of every individual and team of possible that we get to meet after that race. Whether it's 5K, 10K, half marathon, or full. We are all pushing our limits for ourselves, for each other, and for any past, current, or future patients of Nationwide Children's Hospital. And to do that with men that I get to call brother. Of whom I get to call my brothers. They're a vast majority of the reason of who I am today. And so I'm so happy to have been able to find myself and put myself in a position of finding them. And it's lovely how there are some points in my life that I absolutely never have the reason or the propensity to look back and to think of something differently, of how something could have happened differently. And those aspects are not even in the same universe. So yeah, close friends are vital, crucial to be a part of your journey, to be a part of their journeys, and ultimately the journey together that you all are here to achieve and plan to achieve and will achieve. Keep them close. Because I say I have to agree with this quote that I'm going to leave you with. It's a small part of a very larger discussion. In a book called Friendship, or On Friendship, by Cicero. And the quote that I want to leave you with is, "For friendship is nothing else than an accord in all things, human and divine, conjoined with mutual goodwill and affection. And I am inclined to think that, with the exception of wisdom, no better thing has been given to man by the immortal gods." So I want to say thank you for listening today, and or watching. So, hello. And I hope all of you are having a fantastic day, morning, evening, night, wherever you may be. And I hope that you continue to keep chasing your goals, the immediate, short, or long term, to keep crushing it out there. I know you are, and I know that we all can do better each and every day, and I'm excited to be a part of that process with you. So, without further ado, us here at Impossible Performance are building a culture of strength, fostering a spirit of growth, in constant pursuit of the impossible. Take care, and as always, be impossible.